Good afternoon, councillors, staff, and those out in the community that are watching, and welcome to the July meeting for Murrumbidgee Council. We pay respect to the traditional custodians of the lands and waters of the Murrumbidgee local government area and to all Aboriginal elders past, present and emerging. We are committed to honouring the continuing connection that First Australians hold to Murrumbidgee's land, waters and community as one of the oldest living cultures in human history. In the spirit of open, accessible and transparent government and to ensure this meeting is open to the public, this council meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the Murrumbidgee Council Facebook page. A recording will also be placed on Council's website following the meeting. I'll call for any apologies, please.
We have an apology from Councillor Chu.
Okay. No further apologies. Somebody like to move the apologies? Move Councillor Black, second Councillor Curfew. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, carried. Thank you. We'll move to the confirmation of minutes for the meeting that was held on the last council meeting, the 25th of June. On the 25th of June. Somebody like to move, please. Move Councillor Major, second Councillor Strong. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, carried. Thank you. I remind councillors of any pecuniary interest declaration. I have a disclosure of pecuniary interest from Councillor Gilbert regarding agenda item number 3. Are there any further declarations? If not, no. Okay, we will move on to the next item. No notices of rescission, no notices of motion. Move on to the Mayor's report. As you can see, the General Manager and I spent 2 weeks out of the month at conferences, one at the Elder Conference in Canberra and one at the Murray-Darling Association Conference in Canberra. To those at the coalface delivering services and supporting the many who are struggling, we thank you. With all of our issues out there confronting our communities at the moment, whether it be housing, affordability, all living expenses, you know, it's seriously challenging out there at the moment. So if anybody in the community can lend a hand or offer support to the people out there that are really doing it tough at the moment, I urge you to do so. We have some organisations out there that are helping those that are struggling at the moment. So we encourage the people to get in touch with those who can assist them. The Murrumbidgee Local Health District has circulated many public health bulletins encouraging us to be mindful regarding the many bugs out there circulating. One thing we can all do is, if we're unwell, whether it be flu, COVID-19, RSV or whatever, is to be mindful of where we are and the transmission of these bugs to our more vulnerable community members. Council currently has a survey circulating regarding the operating hours preferred by our communities for our swimming pools. Please take the time to complete this survey so Council can best cater to the majority of swimmers and their families. Council facilitated 3 drop-in sessions regarding our Western Riverina Drought Resilience Planning Program project. These sessions were really poorly attended. The General Manager and I had the opportunity to meet online with the project coordinators, Meridian and Irvin, prior to the community sessions. Feedback in this space would be valuable. I'm not quite sure how we can best get to our communities to encourage them to be involved in sessions like this, but the one hand suggests that everybody's happy with how things are going, but the other hand suggests there's a certain amount of apathy out there, so we need to encourage our communities to be actively involved. And perhaps we need to also revisit how we communicate that these drop-in sessions are facilitated. I think it needs to be greater than just social media. I think we need to actually do some direct phoning and encouragement for people to attend. The local government elections will take place on the 14th of September 2024 and nominations are open on the 5th of August. I encourage those that may be interested to touch base with myself or any current councillors or our council's general manager if you'd like to have a chat regarding the expectations and commitment required to step into this role. Excitingly, Council's new website is due to go live on the 31st of July. As the first point of entry to our organisation, it is vital that this is user-friendly, visibly attractive and informative. Importantly, for council efficiency, it must be reliable, cost-effective and operated on a trusted platform. The major roadblocks on the Newell Highway just north of the bridge, major roadworks, yes, on the Newell Highway just north of the bridge over the Billabong Creek are all but complete. This is a major improvement and a significant financial investment on this national transport corridor. The work has been carried out expeditiously with minimal interruption, and the Murrumbidgee community is grateful for the upgraded work, ensuring that safety is paramount and traffic movement is optimised. At the National General Assembly in Canberra, we attended. It was a full 4-day program. Day one was a regional and rural forum, and we seem to visit and revisit the same pillars annually with some degree of investment, but are we actually keeping pace, or are we slipping slowly backwards in areas of connectivity, housing and infrastructure, roads and transport, energy transition, disaster recovery and resilience? The discussions, while enlightening, often leave you with a degree of frustration. Days 2, 3 and 4 saw addresses from the newly appointed Governor-General, Sam Mostyn AC, a thought-provoking presentation from a demographer, Simon Kuchamaka, on intergenerational equity and fairness, an address by the current Minister for Regional Development, Local Government and Territories, the Honourable Christy McBain, the Prime Minister, Mr Anthony Albanese, very briefly, and he took no questions, and panel contributed by Mr Chris Bowen, Minister to the Federal Energy Minister, which was disturbing. Panel sessions on climate change and renewable energy, disaster recovery and resilience, service delivery, housing, communications and skills and capacity. Murray-Darling Association National Conference was held in Tamworth. This 2-day conference was also very packed. And we had addresses from the New South Wales Water Minister, Rose Jackson, Shadow Minister for Water, Senator Perrin Davey, Mrs Steph Cook MP, Mr Troy Grant from the Inspector General of Water Compliance Group, Mr Phil Coates from VETQ, Mr Andrew McConville from the NVBA, Mrs Zara Lewin from the New South Wales Irrigators Council, and many, many more. We did have the chance to circulate the open letter Council penned to the Prime Minister regarding our grave concerns with the water buybacks, which have now proceeded to tender. We've been approached by some areas of the media to which we've provided commentary. It was an insightful segment that appeared on Landline regarding the Friends of Pelham, and there's a passion for restoring the watershed to its fitting and former glory. It's a huge undertaking, and Council wishes the committee and all volunteers well in their continued endeavours. Our major projects continue to progress slowly, very slowly in some cases. Our roads program continues as stated in our workshop papers, and there's just a list of meetings and conferences I attended during the month. Are there any questions? I omitted to add Barnaby Joyce, who is the presenters at the water conference. He is an unusual MP. He's has some very different views on how we can fix problems. But a clear message he did send was if we are to get some reasonable resolution and compromise in this water nightmare that we all continue to live through, it will have to be people-driven and not politically driven, because the politics always brings an agenda to the table. That's the message I took away from a really interesting presentation. Any questions? No. If there's no questions, would somebody like to move, please? New Councillor Strong, second Councillor Major. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carry. Thank you. Next item, please.
Thank you, Councillor Gray. Just coming off on a couple of items. Number one, housing, the tender for 2-bedroom units has been received. We have a closed business report and confidential session today in relation to that. The nuclear power pole, are just considering whether we always must be mindful of the fact that we may not actually have contests in one or all of our wards. If we do not have a contest in every one of our wards, then I'm recommending we don't put the poll question, because nobody will just come out and for the poll question, because the poll question is actually not compulsory to vote on. And so I'm just going to recommend that if we don't have election in all three wards, then we don't move forward with the poll. We'll look at a different way to gauge the community in relation to that. With the blessing of the council, I'm requesting some annual leave from the 19th to the 23rd of August to visit my mother in Mackay. Narrandera sent a letter in relation to the Tokemore rail link, seeking our support for them in the line from Narrandera to Tokemore. I suggested a couple of things in there of different ways, of different experiences of what I've seen, particularly in Canada, and the private businesses, farmers and things actually owning the rail line, the rail stop, and only just having the Canadian Railway carriages that they collect and fill up and then push back to a place where it's get picked up by the Canadian National Railway or the Pacific. To do that, if it's going to be, we already know that we've done one feasibility study and never went anywhere in relation to that, and whether it's time to see if private can find another way to get that Tokemore to Narrandera line to be able to hook up to the rest of inland rail, etc. along those lines. So now they're my movements from now until November for interest. So any questions?
Councillor Major.
Hey, John, just in regards to the nuclear power whole question.
Yep.
How are we getting information out to the voters?
Yep.
Obviously we've talked about it a bit. We know a bit about it.
Yep.
I don't want people get to the ballot box and go, "What's this all about?"
Yep.
Just so how are we going to promote that?
So we'll know fairly early on that if we're going to hold an election in each of the wards, we'll know that by about the 14th of August. So we'll have a good month that we'll be able to send out as much information on what the poll question is about and why we posed the poll question. We can do a direct mail out to everybody that's on the electoral roll. That's not a problem to be able to do that. We'll put it on the socials and things just to make people aware so that they can be informed and they're not caught off guard, as you say, when they come to the ballot box and receive a poll question. Yep.
Okay, any further questions? John, in relation to your recommendation that's written here for the council to write to Narrandera Sky Council, there's a three-pronged approach there.
Yep.
That states supporting the concept of reopening the Narrandera to Tokemore rail line.
Yep.
Secondly, expressing as an option the sourcing of private investment to make this happen.
Yep.
And thirdly, advising council would, if required, contribute reasonable cost to this project.
Yep.
I would like council feedback on those 3 dot points.
Probably understand in particular. So the question was specific from the letter we received from Narrandera is that would we be willing to contribute reasonable costs. It's always a very hard one, and I hesitate actually putting that there because what is reasonable to one is not reasonable to another. I think probably in the guise of wanting things to be more transparent, that we remove item number 3 from the recommendation, and I just write back to them and say we are in support can you please tell us what the ask would be and when the ask would be, so council could actually determine whether they're going to ask for that exact amount of money, if that's a reasonable approach. As I said, I was hesitant to put that in, but that was a request from them, and I know council would be supportive of this. They would love to see this line from Tocumwal to Naranda open. It would open up a lot of opportunities, but just the fact that they asked for reasonable costs, I'm not sure.
Do we need to move that be removed?
Well, I can remove it if everybody supports. Julie will just take that
Is
off.
council in support of removing that until we get further information?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Expressing as an option the sourcing of private investment to make this happen. I think we need to ask questions about if it's going to be another route, not an alternate route, but another route. Is it quite categorically stated that the government will not fund that? And if that's the case, then who's going to do the legwork and the groundwork about industry contact and whatever to see if this has got any legs?
Well, there was no within the request. It was only speaking about government funding this, right? There was no thought within there, and I put that in as my opinion, as a recommendation to council that we're supporting this. Let's not keep on arguing the same body that has said no before. Just put it out to the wider community and see if there's actually a consortium of investors that would have the benefit of this line being open, so it can connect right through as a point. That was all I was going to write back to say. Don't forget that there might be others out there.
Okay, so in our response, can our council quite clearly articulate that or ask, is there continuing dialogue with both the New South Wales and federal government regarding this initiative? And if so, have they stated categorically that they won't contribute?
Well, I'll probably, because we'll write to them and say that we're supporting the reopening, want to be part of it every step of the way. So whatever happens in the future, they should be keeping us in the loop. In that way, we can give the feedback coming back through from what's happened with them.
Okay, so if we remove point 3 from these, I think we need to. I would require more detail around who's going to be involved, who's driving the project, and I also would. I'm really hesitant to throw good money after bad when money's so tight. So we need to be convinced that it at least has the ear of somebody rather than just us banging on like we did last time without appearing to get any purchase. Okay, is there any further comment regarding this?
My comment would be, sorry, Councillor.
Councillor, what's your name? Black?
My comment would be the Neil Highway Task Force, that they have been negotiating, and they do come to the rail authority do come to the Neil Highway Task Force.
Yep.
Maybe the avenue through that.
Well, we have a meeting convened with the Neil Highway Task Force meeting at the beginning of August, so perhaps it's a question we can ask at that table. Any other questions of John regarding his report? If not, the recommendation will read. I thought we moved and seconded it. Did we? Oh, no, somebody like to move it, Councillor Black, seconded Councillor Curfew. And the recommendation will read, the information contained in the General Manager's monthly report be noted, and A, should at least one of the Murrumbidgee Council boards not have an election at the upcoming council elections to be held on the 14th of September 2024, Council will not proceed with the nuclear power poll. B, Council approved the request for annual leave from General Manager James Scarce from the 19th to the 23rd of August 2024. And C, Council write to Naranda Shire Council, 1, supporting the concept of reopening the Naranda to Tocumwal rail line, and 2, expressing as an option the sourcing of private investment to make this happen. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carries. Thank you. Item 2, please.
Issue. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item 2 relates to the adoption of further plans of management, including Monash Park, Jewellery Sports Centre, golf courses and areas of cultural living, the Willows, and the exhibition of management, plan of management for Jewellery Common and Jewellery Stock Route. The plans of management for Monash Park, Jewellery Sports Centre, areas of cultural significance, and Willows and generic management plan management for golf courses were presented to council and presented back to council today for adoption. And it's also further recommended that the draft plan of management for the Jewellery Common, Jewellery Stock Group be endorsed, placed in public exhibition period of 28 days. Further to 14 days for conditions. Questions?
Any questions of Gary regarding this agenda item, please? No? If not, somebody like to move, please? Move Councillor Curfew, seconded Councillor Saxby. And the recommendation will read that the plan of management for Monash Park, the Jewellery Sports Centre, areas of cultural significance, the Willows, and the generic plan of management for golf courses be adopted. And B, the draft plan of management for the Jewellery Common and the Jewellery Stock Route be endorsed and placed on public exhibition for a period of 28 days, with a further 14 days provided for submissions. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you. Item 3, please.
See ya.
Thank you. Through Madam Mayor, item 3 relates to an event being held at Point known as the Peak Day Out. Be held in and around the Punch Hotel on Saturday, 28th September 2024. The event will require a traffic management plan for the closed stocks through Hunt Road, and as it is also adjacent to the Kidman Way, it triggers the requirement under our events policy for council endorsement. Recommendation is therefore council endorse River Car Rally Peak Day Out event on Saturday, 28th September 2024.
Move Councillor Curfew, seconded Councillor Major. Are there any questions of Gary regarding the event? If not, I'll put the recommendation. The recommendation will read, council endorsed River in a Car Rally Peak Day Out event on Saturday, the 28th of September 2024. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to item 4, please.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, item 4 relates to the consideration of draft quality policy, which aims to enhance the overall performance and service quality of council's operations. It was introduced to council at the June workshop. It's presented today, council consideration to be placed in public exhibition for a period of 28 days seeking public comment, at the end of which the draft policy will be presented back to council for further consideration.
Are there any questions of Gary regarding this policy? Are there any variations to this policy from our previous with?
A new policy,
Yeah.
basically. It's been triggered by the requirement by Traffic South Wales and some of our grants.
Okay. So it's it should enable us to have all the boxes ticked prior to getting to the submission phase. Okay. So it's another one of those policies that council has. We have a whole suite of policies, but if they are active and they are useful, that's good. Would somebody like to move? Move Councillor Saxby, second Councillor Gilbert. And the recommendation will be that 1, the draft quality policy be endorsed by council and placed on public exhibition for a period of 28 days seeking public comment. And 2, at the completion of the exhibition period, the draft quality policy will be presented for adoption. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you. We will move to reports, minutes, and we will go to there's nil. So we'll move to the officers' reports for noting, and we will move to paper.
So the first report for noting is the monthly investment report for the month of June 2024. So at the end of that month, council had funds of approximately $25 million invested. Those were all in accordance with the policies and in line with benchmarks and all those sorts of things. So there's nothing out of the ordinary to report there. So just proposing that council note the report.
Okay. Somebody like to move, please? Move. Councillor Strong, seconded Councillor Percy. Are there any questions of Caitlin regarding her report? No, it seems to be as it should be. I'll put the recommendation, which will read council note the monthly investment reports, identifying all money council has invested under section 625 of the Local Government Act of 1993. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you. Item 6, please.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Item 6 is list of development applications that's been approved under delegated authority during June 2024. Then the council.
Okay, are there any questions of Gary regarding this report on the DA? Which on the delegation? If not, somebody like to move, please. Move Councillor Saxby, seconded Councillor Major. The recommendation will read the information contained in the development applications approved under delegation June 2024 report be noted. Those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you. Somebody like to move that we move into confidential place. Move Councillor Gilbert, seconded Councillor Kirby. Those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you.
Good.
Good. Okay, we will move on to agenda item number 7, which is the tender for the 74-75 Bun Yola Boulevard unit, 4x2 bedroom homes. And somebody would like to move the recommendation. Move Councillor Blake, seconded Councillor Major. The recommendation will read that the council thank all conforming tenderers advising A, following evaluation, the allocated budget and the final costings did not equalise, and B, council is determining alternative ways in which we can deliver with an allocated budget 4x2 bedroom units on lots 74 and 75 Bunyola Boulevard. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh,